We've all been there. We blame the RNG. We call it getting hacked. We tell ourselves we made the right play and just got unlucky. But what if the problem wasn't bad luck? What if the real mistake happened before you even clicked the move? The truth is, the best players in the world have a way of looking at these moments that removes the guesswork. They aren't just gambling and hoping the odds are in their favor. They're using a simple mathematical framework to make the right choice, not just the lucky one. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what that is so you can stop losing to bad luck and start winning by design. The secret weapon, or rather the mindset, that top players have internalized is a concept called expected value. Now, I know what you're thinking. Expected value sounds like something you'd find in a dusty statistics textbook. It sounds boring, but I promise you, it's actually pretty simple, and it's a powerful tool for making better decisions in Pokemon. So, what is it? Expected value, let's call it EV, is a way to estimate the average outcome of a move if you were to use it repeatedly. It helps you boil down a move's power and accuracy to a single number for quick comparison. It's a guideline for a move's potential. The core idea is disarmingly simple. For a basic attack, you can get a rough estimate of its effective power by multiplying its base power by its chance to hit. Effective power equals base power times hit chance. That's the foundation. Now, this isn't the actual damage you'll do. Real damage calculation is way more complex, involving stats, levels, type matchups, and more. But what this simple formula does give you is a fantastic shortcut. It lets you move from hoping a move is good to having a data-backed reason to believe it is. You're replacing a pure dice roll with a strategic estimate. Once you get the hang of this, you'll never look at a move list the same way again. Let's prove it. Let's take one of the most classic dilemmas in Pokemon. You have a special attacker that can learn two moves, Thunder and Thunderbolt. Thunder is the flashy option. It has a massive base power of 1 in 10. When it connects, it hits like a freight train. The catch? It only has 70% accuracy. That means out of every 10 times you click it, it's likely going to miss 3 times, leaving you completely exposed. Thunderbolt is the reliable workhorse. It has a lower base power of 90, but its base accuracy is 100%. Barring any weird accuracy or evasion shenanigans from your opponent, this move is going to hit. The average player's brain tells them 110 is way bigger than 90, so Thunder must be better when I need big damage. But that's a trap. That's the gambler's mindset. A top player doesn't think that way. They weigh the odds. They think about the expected value. Let's do the quick math. For Thunder, we take its power, 110, and multiply it by its hit chance, which is 0.7. Effective power of Thunder equals 110 times 0.7, which is 77. So even though Thunder says 110 power on the box, its unreliability means that on average, you're getting a return of about 77 effective power each time you click it. Sometimes you'll get the full 1 in 10, and sometimes you'll get a big fat 0. Over time, it averages out to 77. Now, let's look at Thunderbolt. Its power is 90, and its hit chance is 1.0. Effective power of Thunderbolt equals 90 times 1.0, which is 90. The effective power of Thunderbolt is 90. Because it almost always hits, its average power is its actual power. Now compare those two numbers. Thunder, 77. Thunderbolt, 90. The choice is suddenly crystal clear. In terms of consistent, reliable power output, Thunderbolt isn't just the safer move. It is mathematically the stronger move in a neutral situation. By choosing Thunderbolt, you are, on average, getting 13 more points of effective power every single turn. This isn't just an opinion. In a vacuum, it is a mathematical reality. And this is the kind of simple gut check that gives competitive players an edge. Okay, so comparing power is one thing, but the real beauty of this way of thinking is how it helps us quantify things that don't seem to have a number, like the chance to burn or paralyze an opponent. This is where the game gets deep and where you can find a massive advantage. Let's look at a classic example from competitive Pokemon history. Primarina's choice between Hydro Pump and Scald. Hydro Pump is like Thunder, big power, shaky accuracy. It has a base power of 110, but only 80% accuracy. Scald is weaker, with only 80 base power, but has 100% accuracy. More importantly, Scald has a 30% chance to burn the target. Let's start with Hydro Pump's effective power. Just like before, we multiply power by accuracy. Effective power of Hydro Pump equals 110 times 0.8, which is 88. So, Hydro Pump's average power output is 88. Now for Scald, its base effective power is simple. Effective power of Scald for damage only equals 80 times 1.0, which is 80. Based on this alone, Hydro Pump looks better, right? 88 is higher than 80. But we haven't accounted for that incredible 30% chance of a burn. How do we turn a burn into a number? This is where you have to think like a strategist. A burn does two massive things. It deals passive damage every turn, and it cuts the opponent's physical attack stat in half. That is incredibly valuable. While there's no official number, let's pretend for a second. Let's be conservative and say that landing a burn on a key physical attacker is worth about 50 points of strategic value. It shuts down threats, pressures the opponent, and can completely swing a game. Now let's add that potential value into Scald's calculation. We have a 30% chance, that's 0.3, to gain that 50-point strategic value. Value of burn equals 50 times 0.3, which is 15. So that burn chance adds an average of 15 value points to the move. We add this to Scald's damage. Total value of Scald equals 80 from power, plus 15 from burn potential, which is 95. And just like that, the picture is completely different. Hydro Pump's value is 88. Scald's total value, based on our assumption, is 95. Suddenly, Scald looks like the strategically superior move. This is why, for years, you saw top players running Scald on almost everything that could learn it. They weren't just guessing, they had done the mental math. Even though Scald is much harder to find in the newest games, the principle behind why it was so good is more important than ever. This way of thinking applies to everything in Pokemon. Think about a common choice for a Pokemon like Garchomp. Earthquake versus Rock Slide. Earthquake is a beast, 100 base power, and 100% accuracy. Its effective power is a clean 100. It's the benchmark for reliability and strength. Rock Slide is weaker, with only 75 base power, but it has a 30% chance to make the opponent flinch. A flinch is a golden ticket. It means the opponent does nothing for a turn. How valuable is a free turn? It could be worth the entire game. Let's assign it a strategic value, say 60 points. Let's calculate Rock Slide's total value. Power value equals 75 times 0.9. Rock Slide's usual accuracy, which is 67.5. Flinch value equals 60. Our value times 0.3. The chance, which is 18. Total value of Rock Slide equals 67.5 plus 18, which is 85.5. Now compare Earthquake at 100, Rock Slide at 85.5. In this case, even with the flinch chance, Earthquake still wins on raw expected value. But here's the nuance. If you're in a situation where a flinch is your only win condition, say you're at low health and the opponent's next attack will knock you out, Rock Slide's 30% chance to give you a free turn can literally be the difference between winning and losing. This is the beauty of EV thinking. It doesn't give you a rigid, one-size-fits-all answer. It gives you a baseline, a starting point from which you can adjust based on the specific context of the battle. So here's the takeaway. You don't need to sit there with a calculator during every battle. That's not what this is about. The goal is to train your intuition. When you see a move with 70% accuracy versus one with 100% accuracy, your mind should automatically start weighing the effective power. When you see a move with a secondary effect, you should instinctively factor in the potential value of that effect. The players who consistently win aren't luckier than you. They're simply making higher expected value plays turn after turn, and now so can you.